This Void Titan destroys in-game content. With this build, you'll have unlimited health regen, a debuff built into your kit, overshields that have a 50% damage reduction, as well as a powerful exotic that destroys large mobs of enemies. As a Titan main myself, even though we have a lot of seasonal mods that favor solar this season, the Void subclass has always been the best, in my opinion, to clear difficult content. Difficult content being GMs, master raids, and dungeons. And in difficult content, sometimes you need to play slower and fight enemies at a distance. So this build gives us everything we need. Let's jump right into it. The first exotic of this build will be Hoyle, aka Heart of Innermost Light. This exotic gives us a 200% ability regen increase to our other two abilities when we use one of our three abilities. This means if we throw our barricade down, that means our melee and our grenade will have an increased regen and deal more damage. But that also means that our barricade would not get that increased regen. So keep this in mind when you're trying to chain all your abilities, and the abilities you want to prioritize when using Heart of Innermost Light will be your barricade and your grenade. The next exotic will be Graviton Lance. Yes, we pulled this out of the vault for this build in particular. Graviton Lance provides large add clear capabilities with its unique perk Black Hole. Black Hole creates mini black holes from the second shot of the weapon that chains to nearby enemies and does large amounts of damage. It can even stun Overload champions, since Overload pulse rifles is one of our seasonal artifact mods. Graviton Lance also benefits from the 40% damage buff by just being a primary exotic, and we're combining this with 2 Void Surges in our feet, so that means we're getting an increase of up to 60% weapon damage just by picking up an overpower and just by using Graviton Lance. Graviton Lance also provides you an overshield when you break a Void combatant shield. So take it out of the vault and take it for a spin and let me know what you guys think. For our subclass, you want to prioritize staying alive and providing overshields that grant us a huge damage reduction. For those two things, we're going to need these aspects. The first aspect will be controlled demolition. So hitting a target with a void ability or volatile explosion makes them volatile. Further damage to that target grants you and nearby allies health when those volatile targets explode. So this is another way to just gain health, is by making those enemies volatile and then defeating them. The second aspect, which is very key to this build, will be Bastion. And Bastion grants us an overshield anytime we pop our barricade. This is how we're able to get a huge damage reduction by just popping our barricade. Now, the first fragment in our build is going to be how we're going to have unlimited health regen. The first fragment is Echo of Starvation. Picking up a Void Breach or an Orb of Power grants us Devour. Once we have Devour active, getting kills with any weapon grants us grenade energy, as well as it refunds our health completely. That's how we have unlimited health regen. The second thing we have in this kit will be Echo of Undermining. So our Void Grenade weaken targets. This is how we have a debuff built into our kit with Echo of Undermining. We're going to be debuffing mini bosses, champions, and just bosses in general by having Echo Undermining and hitting them with our grenade. The next thing we have is Echo Invincibility. A Void build wouldn't be a Void build without volatile rounds, so we're getting volatile rounds by defeating enemies with our grenade. Now the last thing we do need for this build to work would be Echo of Exchange, so we can start to chain all of our abilities. Echo of Exchange makes sure that once we defeat enemies with our melee, it's going to grant us grenade energy. So that's how we're refunding and chaining all of our abilities together. But this build in particular is used for more difficult content, since it's a slower type build because of the Heart of Innermost Light nerf, which did happen a couple seasons ago. As far as the stats you want to prioritize, we're going to prioritize Resilience because we need that 30% damage reduction, and then Discipline so we can refund our grenade as quickly as possible. Since we are using Scatter Grenade, that brings our grenade cooldown to a whopping 52 seconds. So every minute you should have a grenade up and you're able to debuff any target within 1 minute. If you do have the extra stats, then you want to next prioritize your strength so you're able to get your shield throwback. But that should wrap it up for the stats we want to build into. As far as the mods I am using, I will have a dim link in the bio so you guys can copy the exact mods I'm using, and the mods just enhance the build to the next level. And for the gameplay loop, the first ability I love to spam will be my barricade, so I can grant an overshield to myself and my teammates, and then I want to prioritize throwing my grenade. After I throw my grenade, that's when I want to use my shield though, and that's the loop I chain into almost every single time if I have all three of my abilities up. If you guys like the content, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm going to let the gameplay footage play out in the background. Hope you guys enjoy.